Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Some amazing stories tonight, eh? Yeah, really, really good. I'm here tonight to share with you some of my struggles with shame. And to be perfectly honest with you, when I was sitting over there, I felt shame. I felt it sneak up on me, and I felt my inner child tell me, what the hell are you doing here? You don't belong here. You don't want to tell these people all this shit about you. What are they going to say? What are they going to think? What are they going to do? And do you know what I said? I said to my inner child, I said, okay, I see you. I'm here. I'm sharing my story because I want other people to see me having the courage to do that so they can have the courage to share their stories. Because your stories are what changed the world. Yeah. I'd like to say that I'm vulnerable and authentic like all the time, but that would be a lie. Literally, I'd be lying to you. But I've come a long way in my life. Before, I would not share anything with people. I just felt that I didn't belong in the world. When I was young, I never felt worthy. I never felt loved. I felt like nobody cared about me. And when I look back at my life, my parents loved me so much. And my sister would always have my back. And I had friends that were like amazing that I could talk to. But I never felt like anyone cared. I always felt like there was something missing from my life, but I didn't know what it was. Yeah, like, have you ever experienced that? Yeah, right? Because you're like, I don't know, my life's okay. Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't feel worthy. I don't know why. But I just knew I didn't, and I didn't feel right, and I didn't like those emotions. So the summer after grade 6, when I was 12 years old, I started doing drugs and alcohol. Yeah. I had to numb that pain. I couldn't take the pain of not feeling like I was good enough. And drugs and alcohol really helped me numb, like Winston would say. I numbed that pain, and it felt really good. But the problem was it wasn't enough. So I created a persona of somebody that I thought other people would like. I basically became someone that I wasn't, so people would like me. So I started lying. Everything I did lied, like stupid things I'd lie about. I would take on other people's experiences as my own, and I would tell their story as my story because I thought, oh, that's cool, so people are going to like me. But you know what happened? More people liked me, but I couldn't get close to anyone. I couldn't let anyone in. Because if I let anyone in, they'd see that I'm lying and then I'm full of shit. So I created this, like a Jeopardy, where I couldn't let people in, but I wanted more people to come in, but I couldn't let them in. So I was like, uh-oh, what do I do now, right? So I kept living this phony life for years. And the drugs and alcohol, they were bad, but not extreme. I was a functioning person. I had a job. And then one day, I was very dishonest. And I stole money from my employer that I work for. And I've never told this story before in public, but I was charged with theft over, at the age of 16. My first offense. And the judge must have got a shitty latte that day because he gave me 30 days in jail. I stole $700 from my boss. And since I was still in high school, I did weekends because they didn't want to take me out of school. So I'd go to school 5 days, and then Friday night came before I had to go to jail. And I was like, fuck this. I'm out of here. Like, I'm too young to do this. I can't go this. I'm going to run away. I'll join the circus or something they did back then. But anyway, my mom and dad at the time, they're like, Paul, you must be scared shitless. And I'm like, yeah, I'm scared shitless. So my mom and dad drove me to the jail. And I remember getting out of that car and closing the door and thinking, how could I let them down? Like, how can I do that to them? Like, the people that I love the most, I hurt. And I experienced the most devastating shame that I carried around for so long. And that's why I think it's so valuable for me to be here to tell this story today. So I've had other experiences with shame also. One of my famous ones was my math teacher, Mrs. Fung. We had a math exam, and it was grade 8. And I knew I failed because I didn't study, because I didn't really like school, because I was too busy like smoking weed. But she comes up to me and she takes my test and she throws it on my desk and she looks and she says, Paul, you stupid. And I was like, oh shit. She knows. Like, she knows. Like, she sees through my stuff. She knows that I'm stupid. Like, she's a teacher, she must know, right? Teachers know everything. So now we have a 17-year-old kid that thinks he's stupid. He's unworthy. He's not a good person, and he doesn't deserve happiness. Not the best success formula to begin with, right? So shame, I carried this shame around for a long time. But after that event when I went to jail, I got off the bus one day and my friend Laura was up ahead, and she was like the most beautiful girl ever, and I loved her, but I never told her because I never felt confident enough or good enough, and I didn't feel worthy of her. So I never told her anything. So I caught up to her because we're neighbors. And I said, hey, Laura, how's it going? And she looked at me and she said, what the hell are you doing? I said, what do you mean? She's like, she said, I'm so disappointed in you right now. She's like, I know who you really are. What the fuck are you doing? She's like, until you get your shit together, don't talk to me anymore. And she walked away. And at that point, I knew things had to change. Because I was another person that I loved that now wants nothing to do with me. I keep pushing people away, but I couldn't do it anymore. And then I was thinking about what she said, and then I realized she just told me that the person I was was way better than the person I was trying to be. And this like light went on in my head, and I went, oh my God. She like sparked a fire in me. Like she got in the arena that day, right? She got in the arena and she told me the way it was. And she explained to me, I could have like told her off or whatever it was, but she was brave enough to get out there and make a difference. And she changed my life. So, and I have written a letter to her talking about this because it really impacted my life. And I didn't know at the time it happened, but when I look back, I'm like, my God, thank you so much for being vulnerable and authentic with me. So anyway, I did not change quickly. I held on to that shame of not being worthy and unlovable for a long time, for 20 years at least, until one day this miracle happened. My daughter Nadine was born. Yeah, that was a day I remember. She's 20 this year, but I remember that day because she was born and her mom had a C-section, and they gave me the baby, and I'm like, well, I don't even like kids, right? So what am I going to do with it? So anyway, so I took my little bundle of joy upstairs, and one of my worst fears happened. No, I didn't drop her. No, she started to cry. I was like, oh, what do I do? So I remember this because I sat down in a rocking chair, and I was holding her right here. And I remember her falling asleep in my arms. And at that point, as the first time I ever felt like really true love and connection with anyone. It was amazing. And that day I found out what was missing from my life. It was connection and belonging and love. So I knew then that my goal here on earth was to help youth. So I went back to school to become a teacher, and I don't know if you guys know, but you can't become a teacher overnight. So I know it's a long journey, but there also was a thing that I was stupid, right? How am I going to become a teacher? Like, I'm not smart enough. But finding that connection and finding what I wanted in life gave me the courage to like sign up for college. I signed up for college. I got my Bachelor of Science, and I got my teaching degree. And guess what I got my degree in? Mathematics. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, fuck you, Mrs. Fung. That's all. So anyway, I went on and I graduated. It took me 11 years, part-time, working as a dad, still working full-time. I graduated, and when I graduated, I was like, yeah, let's get a job, woo, party on, I'm going to change the world. Teachers went on strike. Like, oh, okay, whatever, let's just deal with it. I have a purpose. So I was driving around one day doing my job, and I had this vision that I'm going to help youth, and I'm going to take my little business, and I'm going to turn it into a social enterprise, and we're going to donate half our profits to a youth outreach program. Yeah, so I went home, really excited. I was like, woo, guess what? And my wife, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, hey, we're going to like donate half our profits, and we're going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. She's like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why are we going to give away our money? And I just looked at her, and I'm like, because this is my purpose. This is why I'm here. I want to connect with people. I want to make a difference in people's lives. I don't want them to grow up like I did, feeling unworthy and unloved. I want them to have the best chance they can in the world to be successful. And I guarantee you we'll double this business next year. I had no idea how to do that. No idea. I just knew I was going to do it. And through that vision, I created a business called Ethical Waste Services, and this is our 5th year running, and we've donated half our profits to help youth. Yes. So I just want to say thank you all for listening and being supportive. It's it was challenging for me to come up and tell this story today. And thank you, Winston. You challenged me. I wasn't going to do it. I had my safe story, and I was avoiding writing this down. And he emailed me this morning and said, asked me some questions like, if this was your last day, what would you say? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, shit. I rewrote it this morning, and I added all this stuff I was trying to avoid in my life. And I just want to say thank you so much for bringing me up here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Popping Macdonald, everyone. Wow.